My name's Scott McHenry, and this is a bit of me. I don't know that you ever really loved me, but you gave me your name, and you never reminded me I was not your son. I've not fathomed why we quarreled and fought. Neither of us, I suspect, felt any real animosity. You always worked hard. You always looked neat, clean shaven, even after a long night drinking. Good morning cheer and strong black coffee. Tang of camels, good smelling in the wind. As a son and husband, you were confronted by female forces you could not comprehend, and so could not cope with. You marshaled your forces to a foreign land, Canton, Ohio. Refugee camp for West Virginians, Appalachia without the view, and stayed there, where I guess you felt comfortable. Wanted? I don't know. Maybe. I never asked you. In the arms of your boozing friends, you followed your path. Did you choose it? Mostly by yourself. Were you lonely? I never asked. You lived in cheap housing in a depressing city. Bar people love free spending Mac. I was one of them. Dad, they are sucking you dry, and you're helping pump. It's your way of living. Do you remember their other ways? I never ask you. You've lost your job, refusing help when the dairy wanted to send you to dry out. Think about this. This good, kind man refused help, would sooner lose his good-paying job than enter a program to quit alcohol. That's not easily understood, especially by non-drinking folks, Christian people, or New Age self-believers. The proud of it drinkers, they hate to lose one of their own. A soft touch, most of all. Run, Dad. Run. I've looked at drunks, looked without pity, probably with some contempt. I've looked at drunks with fear, then with compassion. Now I look with love. I saw one in a diner, started to cry. People will look at you, Dad, not knowing, not caring about the good, kind hard-working man. Uncomprehension confronting itself. As for me, I can look at you with more love and understanding than I ever did in an apple orchard, or under the hood of an old car, or bringing home the spotted pup that became Jinx. I'm glad I've told you I love you. For once, it's not one of those too late now situations. You introduced me with pride as your son, and you once told Mom you all had 6 kids. You're 5, you told her, and her 1. Mom pointed out gleefully, you counted Scotty twice. I love you for these things. We took Route 8, home from Ohio most every weekend. I never heard you call Grandpa Mick anything other than Mr. Mick. On weekends, I learned about home, land, and folks. West Virginians go to Ohio for money. You hid from your son, Rick. Dad, were you scared? I never asked. When he went to your place in Canton, Ohio, dirty, depressing, drinking, despairing Canton, Ohio. Dad. 8 years ago, you went to see Rick in intensive care. You couldn't handle it. Seeing Rick hurt and misshapen, you fainted. Almost every visit, you would nearly pass out. But you insisted on going, on seeing your son. You used to sing Silver Threads and Golden Needles and pick along on your guitar, and I swear, you were good. You were a first-rate mechanic and a bad businessman. You've been fired now by the same dairy that offered you the program, where you once won an international cottage cheese making contest. First prize, and you were proud of it. Won a trip to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Big stuff to you, Dad. November of '84, you got put in a hospital, beaten badly with a ball bat. That was big stuff, too. I finally got it through my head how mild you are and how the world you live in treats the meek and mild. Here's a bat in the face, a kick in the head. The meek shall inherit the earth in the shape of the gutter. You didn't like baseball particularly, and you didn't read. You resented me always having my nose stuck in a book. But you could do math in your head faster and better than I could with pencil and paper. When anyone in the holler needed help, "Get Rollin," they'd say. "He'll help." They remember you, Dad. They tell me about you. You worked in the Timken plant that looked like an industrial revolution nightmare for 11 years till a lung collapsed. You fell in a heap inside a works of molten metal when I was a senior. You fell down among flying sparks, shadowy figures, small, sooty, broken windows, roller bearings, union stewards, and a puncturing pain in your chest. Now you're in a sweatshop of one more drink and stinking cigarette butts, nasty bathrooms, and vomiting old gossips begging for a drink. The crisp clarity of rainy West Virginia hills and twisty roads blurred by the mist and the alcoholic haze. You refused a joint at a party once, passing it on, and you shook a quart jar of moonshine, tiny oily bubbles sliding down the inside, proclaiming, "This is my kind of gold right here." So come home, Dad. Drink homemade whiskey. Run home to West Virginia before you're dead in the city, dead refugee in a filthy, drunk-littered, group home industrial mess that's not worth your sweat and cheer, let alone your life. But you refused the offer of help. Your first drying out attempt didn't take. You returned to your same old ways. Lost your job to stay in your same old ways. It's summer now, and you have some severance pay a-coming. So you'll probably be okay for a while yet. But the money will be gone, and every friend that has any, about the time winter sets in. Dead, drunk, in an industrial alley, in a snow hellstorm. You're not old yet, in fairly good physical condition, sapped by sweet alcohol numbness, abused by a demon only you can name. It's your demon, Dad. You can whip it. I love you. That's it.